प्रथमः प्रश्नः। हरिः ओम्। सुकेशाच भारद्वाजश्रेभ्यश्च सत्यकामः सौर्यायणी च गार्ग्यः कौसल्यश्चाश्वलायनः भार्गवो वैदर्भिः कबन्धी कात्यायनस्ते हैते ब्रह्मपरा ब्रह्मनिष्ठाः परं ब्रह्मान्वेषमाणा एषः वै तत्सर्वं वक्ष्यतीति तेह समित्पाणयो भगवन्तं पिप्पलादमुपसन्नाः। तान् हस ऋषिरुवाच भूय एव तपसा ब्रह्मचर्येण श्रद्धया संवत्सरं संवत्स्यथ यथा कामं प्रश्नान् पृच्छथ यदि विज्ञास्यामः सर्वं भवो वक्ष्याम इति। अथ कबन्धी कात्यायन उपेत्य पप्रच्छ भगवन् कुतो ह वा इमाः प्रजाः प्रजायन्त इति। तस्मै स होवाच प्रजाकामो ह वै प्रजापतिः स तपोतप्यत स तपस्तप्त्वा समिथुनमुत्पादयते रयिं च प्राणं चेति। एतौ मे बहुधा प्रजाः करिष्यत इति। आदित्यो ह वै प्राणो रयिरेव चन्द्रमाः रयिर्वा एतत्सर्वं यन्मूर्तं चामूर्तं च तस्मान्मूर्तिरेव रयिः। अथादित्य उदयन् यत्प्राचीं दिशं प्रविशति तेन प्राच्यान् प्राणान् रश्मिषु सन्निधत्ते। यद्दक्षिणं यत्प्रतीचिं यदुदीचिं यदधो यदूर्ध्वं यदन्तरादिशः यत्सर्वं प्रकाशयति तेन सर्वान् प्राणान् रश्मिषु सन्निधत्ते। स एष वैश्वानरो विश्वरूपप्राणोऽग्निरुदयते तदेतदृचाभ्युक्तम्। विश्वरूपं हरिणं जातवेदसम्परायणं ज्योतिरेकं तपन्तम् सहस्ररश्मिः शतधा वर्तमानः प्राणः प्रजानामुदयत्येष सूर्यः।
हरि ओम्। नमस्कार. Happy to note that Dr. Shailajama and Anupama are joining us today. Happy that you could be a part of this satsang. And good to see old timers also coming back. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, we follow a very unique methodology in this satsang of having an active dialogue. In many satsangs, listeners or audience are passive listeners. So it's usually a one-way traffic. So the guru talks, his enthralling ability grips the audiences, and they are glued to the speaker, entertained, and the audiences are, wow, what oratory skills, what knowledge, what charisma. I don't adopt that. What we adopt is true to tradition of having a dialogue with the guru. So you can and you are encouraged to ask any questions at any point of time, as long as it doesn't take us off course. You will be witnessing how the proceedings go. But knowing not what is your level of understanding of Vedanta or the philosophy in general, it will still take a few satsangs for you to find a certain uh, groove, find a certain understanding of concepts and terminology. So if there is a clash, don't worry, you don't have to agree or disagree, but just be patient. And if you are consistent, if you have the Shraddha, things will fall in its place. We started the Prashnopanishad with a general introduction, and then we got into the beautiful invocatory prayer. As we learned, invocation, every text has its own invocatory prayer. An invocatory prayer primarily serves as an objective to break the monotony of the routine, mundane, worldly transactions. And whenever you are transacting with the world, there's bound to be a conflict, there's bound to be stress, there's bound to be mental agitations, and that is not conducive because your receptacles, which is your head and heart, which is your mind and intellect, they get worn out because of the constant onslaught of the world onto you. And such an ill prepared, unhealthy state of head and heart doesn't serve a right readiness to receive the Brahma Vidya. So the Shastras, how they envision is that you need to all about Vedanta. In fact, throughout we have been learning, it's always about how well are you prepared to receive this knowledge. What is your level of preparation? Is not how established you are in wisdom. That is obviously there, but always it's about how well you're prepared. The better prepared you are, the more grounded you are with the qualities essential, it'll make you better eligible for these higher spiritual practices. So it's all about preparation, preparation, preparation. It's not about plunging into higher spiritual practices or plunging into higher wisdom. It's all about doing the fundamentals of preparation. So the invocatory prayer firstly breaks the monotony. I'm just giving a quick recap before we get into the text. It breaks the monotony of the mundane activity because what you're doing is one of the most auspicious, which is to embark on trying to acquire the transcendental wisdom from the Guru. So this satsang is a dialogue between a teacher and the taught. So the teacher and the taught both have to be in the ideal frame of mind. So the prayer ideally is chanted by the teacher and the taught to prepare them, to remind them that this is not just another activity. Later on, we may meet and we may not discuss. Every transaction with the Guru is not necessarily a transcendental dialogue. You may sit and discuss administrative issues. You may sit and discuss you may go and start seeking a counsel from the Guru, which may have nothing to do with Brahma Vidya. But when this kind of this is not a formal setup, this is a virtual setup, far from Upanishad. Upanishad is a traditional setup of an ideal classroom where you sit in close proximity with a Guru and learn one-to-one or in a group. But in any setup, there is necessity that both the teacher and the taught are reminded that it is just not an ordinary dialogue, it's a dialogue of the highest of the transcendental order. So the invocatory prayer helps big time to break the monotony of the mundane activity. Secondly, it tunes in your head and heart. Whatever the receptacles have gone through, the receptacles, which is the head and heart, which are engaged in the worldly transactions, go through the wear and tear. They are unfit if they are not tuned in. So the invocation, when it is chanted with the right bhavana, with the right understanding, in the right intonation, it has such a profound impact that it instantly calms the mind. Whatever that is bothering the mind, the nerves get settled. At least for the next hour, whatever is bothering you will not come and trouble you. After that, many things may come and disturb you. The realities of life may come and bother you again. But at least for the next 1 hour, they are all put aside. So the mind is calm and the intellect becomes alert. Hey, what am I doing? Oh, yes, I'm not simply engaging myself with some worldly transaction, another worldly activity. This is something different. So, invocatory prayer plays a very powerful role. Imagine we don't chant the invocatory prayer and directly get into the text. It will take a while for you to get warmed up, and by the time 15-20 minutes is gone, because your mind is still recovering from its vagaries, it's rambling, and it'll take a time for your mind to come back. By the time you come back, you don't know what is going on, what is being said. Now, those of you who have not been here, I would recommend you to get into the either the takeaways or access to the video where you can get the finer mention. But the invocatory prayer says, may we hear and see that which is auspicious, because anything unhealthy, anything imperfect doesn't help the process of transformation. Your transformation starts with the input of stimuli from the world. If I were to eat unhealthy food day after day, meal after meal, I can't expect a physical transformation. I can't expect myself to be fit and healthy. If I want my body to be healthy, if I want my body as a vehicle to serve me in my journey, it is paramount I take a check first is what am I putting in? What is my input? What is my intake? If my intake is wrong, my digestive system, my organs, my personality may be healthy, but it's a matter of time they will be ill health because the input is unhealthy. Many people who go through extraordinary transformation. Like yesterday, I met a relative of mine. He said, "Hey, you have lost some weight. What have you done?" Nothing. For the last 10 days, I have, or 2 weeks, I have not had any sugar. Oh, I have not exercised. I have not done anything. I have not joined a gym, nor am I working out more. I've just made a certain conscious check on the input. There is no sugar coming in any way. There is no sugar even in my coffee, tea. I've said no to certain things, and instantly people are noticing a change. But if I keep putting in all kinds of junk and then I go and enroll in all kinds of fancy gymnasiums and this clubs and that clubs and want to get myself healthy, nothing will happen. What will happen? These clubs will be making a lot of money with your membership. They only lure you to become members. Have you ever noticed the psychology? Ramji, I don't know whether you noticed. I asked once a member this, a gym owner. You were having a large chain of gymnasiums. I asked him, "Arey yaar, what is your membership?" "Oh, I have a good healthy number of 1,000 members." Full-time members, yeah, they keep paying full-time and they are lured because they give all kinds of fancy packages. But then I said, the space you have can't accommodate. Sir, we trap them. What we bank on is none of them have Shraddha. Once in a blue moon, one fellow will come. I know none of them will turn up on the same time, the same day. So we don't offer programs in a way that all 1,000 fellows will come up. All 1,000 fellows come up, they'll break down the system because they say, you're not providing for our services. So their lack of Shraddha, we are thriving, sir. We are continuously thriving. I don't know why I got into it. Never mind. I want you to come back to Prashnopanishad. Prashna is a dialogue by the student asking questions to the Guru. And the text starts by the first question. Okay, now let's get on with the first mantra.
प्रथमः प्रश्नः हरिः ॐ सुकेशा च भारद्वाजश्रेभ्यश्च सत्यकामः सौर्यायणी च गार्ग्यः कौसल्यश्चाश्वलायनः भार्गवो वैदर्भिकबन्धी कात्यायनस्ते हैते ब्रह्मपरा ब्रह्मनिष्ठाः परं ब्रह्मान्वेषमाणा एषः वै तत्सर्वं वक्ष्यतीति तेह समित्पाणयो भगवन्तं पिप्पलादमुपसन्नाः
Sukhesha, son of Bharadwaja, Satyakama, son of Sibi, Gargya, the grandson of Surya, born in the Garga Gotra, Kaushalya, son of Ashvala, Bhargava, a scion of the line of Bhrugu, born in Vidarbha, and Kabandhi, son of Katya. All of them devoted to the inferior Brahman and engaged in the inferior Brahman, approached the revered Pippalada with faggots in hand, thinking that the Rishi would explain everything to them. Now, this first mantra, he is obviously mentioning the 6 students, the 6 disciples, the 6 spiritual seekers who approached the great Guru Pippalada. And they approached, and the text starts by the students, these 6 students, asking questions. And the Guru, to his best of his ability, answers those questions. So this question answer session is the Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, Prashnopanishad. As I've said, the knowledge has always been given as a dialogue. Knowledge is always sought, never taught. So don't go about teaching. You should always clarify the doubts of the students. This is tradition. Now, before I get into the the content, before I get into the content, the Sanskrit language in the philosophy, the various gurus adopted different methods of communicating, different means and methods of teaching. So you find when you read various textbooks, the Sanskrit language, you find different methodologies are used. The first is stuti, where the masters used to glorify certain noble values of life. So the text would have started with glorification of some noble values, or they would have started with ninda, which is vehemently, they warned you against not having certain negative qualities, or they would say, if you have these qualities, you're unfit for this knowledge. Or they would say, you should have such noble qualities, then you are worthy of receiving this knowledge. So either it is tutihi or ninda. And the third is prakriti, where they would have quoted great men, where you could use them as examples, you could emulate them, because these great men lived up to their higher ideals. Or you have pura kalpam, which is they would have told stories. Like we all were told stories by our parents, by our teachers, once upon a time, to drive home a message, to drive home a point. So this Upanishad starts with a story of the six seekers approaching the master Pippalada and drives home what are the essential qualities required of a seeker. Also, what are the perfect qualities or attributes a guru has? These 2 points you will hear in the very beginning of the text. I repeat, the story establishes the essential qualities required for a seeker, which is all of us, we are seekers. And if I am taking the position of a guru to teach, what are the qualities of a teacher, of a guru I need to be endowed with? All right. Now, the general belief towards Vedanta, what is the general belief? The general belief is that people who are not interested, who are rather unfit, who use Vedanta as a last resort, that they are ineffectual, they are the desperados. Those are the people who seek Vedanta. This is the impression. In fact, most people use spirituality as a spiritual asylum because they need some kind of a mental solace. It's like a balm that they use to console themselves, to relieve themselves of their state of affairs in their life. Or you take to Vedanta because you have been a failure with other things in life. So they could be runaways of life or nothing else to do. Let me go and attend some lecture. Congenial idlers, which is not the impression the mantra gives. The mantra talks of 6 young men. They are mentioned in the first mantra, the names of those, the 6 young men who lived a full life. And what is that one quality of all these people is they were not satisfied, they were not contented with what life gave them. And they did not continue the search for happiness in their still same activities which they kept pursuing all their lives. So they did not find contentment and happiness in their same old practices that they were engaged in all this while. And they turned their inquiry, they turned their search another way. They found that they wanted to find, they were in search of greater wisdom. So they plunged into the jungles with the hope of finding a master. Those days, Vedic times, though every householder had a guru, the head of the family was a guru, but perhaps as the mantra says, what does the mantra say? Can we have the mantra again, man? How does he establish, what does he establish apart from mentioning the names of the 6 people here? Panigraji, if I can ask you, sir. What does the mantra establish?
Guruji Pranam.
Namaskar, sir. Good to have you.
In fact, the mantra, as I understand, talks about the basic relationship between a guru and a shishya or a seeker, and the various ways and means as to how to gain knowledge and how to gain wisdom, so
Yes.
that one can choose the best method of uh, uh, proceeding in the path of knowledge.
Yes, sir. My question is, what does the mantra establish of the qualification of these six students? As I've said, are these students are mere idlers, or they are getting away from the troubles of life, or they're unfit for anything else? Therefore, let me try my hand in Vedanta. Is that what the state of the affairs of these six seekers?
No,
Don't think so.
no.
So, what is the mantra stating? What is the lines that you pick up that will clarify this question?
Rather, it talks about the method which should not be adopted. Rather, instead of telling you should do this or you should do that, it talks about what you should not do so that you have a clarity.
Where does it say? What does it not do?
That is the inference that
No, I am
can
not
draw.
talking you to infer anything. I want you to read out something which is direct here.
All of them devoted to the inferior Brahman and engaged in inferior Brahman approach the revered people of which daggers in hand, thinking that Rishi would explain everything to them. It's like approaching the guru and expecting that the guru will explain everything to them. So in a way, as you have mentioned, it is not about giving knowledge, it is about seeking knowledge. Unless you seek something, you are not going to reach anywhere.
They are they are rightfully so. They are seeking. Sir, the two words that in Sanskrit which are clarified here is Brahma Paraha, Brahma Nishtha. If you read the Sanskrit translation, which are translated as those, all of them, all these six students were very devoted to inferior Brahman. They were very devoted, they were committed, they were centered, and they were engaged committedly to the practices of the inferior Brahman.
But what is inferior Brahman, Guruji?
I'm coming to that. All I am asking is, it talks about these people were very committed. They were established in their practice of their worship. So the inferior Brahman, Brahma Nishtha, Brahma Paraha. The inferior knowledge refers to Saguna Upasana. Upasana means worship. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Saguna, guna means a quality. Saguna means any worship which are full of qualities and attributes is called Saguna Upasana. Second level of practice, or superior level of practice, is Nirguna. Nir is without, guna or a quality. Upasana is worship. So many spiritual, in fact, spiritual practice starts with Saguna Upasana. And as the seeker evolves, he reaches a state of Nirguna Upasana. This is the natural spiritual ladder. Saguna Upasana is where you use idols and forms and rituals as a form of worship. Saguna, when I worship Lord Ganesha, when I worship Lord Venkateshwara, I worship Lord Hanuman, I go and worship Lord Goddess Lakshmi, or Goddess Saraswati, or I go and say, worship Lord Shiva, whoever. What are these idols? What are these gods? What are these forms of worship? These are all lower forms of worship because they have a quality, an attribute, a form, a guna. So when I use those forms to worship, it is called Saguna Upasana. Now, this is not lowering anything. Always something is lower with reference to higher. The highest form of worship is Nirguna Upasana, to worship the God without any qualities and attributes, which is to attune to the Parabrahma, which is the Brahman, which is the formless reality. So these seekers were very established in the lower forms of practices. And they've reached a certain point of threshold, what they couldn't get from their practices. They were satisfied. They knew that they can't get more than this in what they're practicing. They turned their search for Parabrahma. Apara is lower, para is higher. So they searched for someone who can teach them knowledge of Nirguna Upasana, higher Brahman. And the Upanishads are the authority of teaching you Nirguna Upasana. The Upanishads don't talk of gods and goddesses. They don't talk of idols. They don't talk of rituals. They don't talk of the Karmakanda. The Upanishads only uphold Brahmavidya, which is the highest knowledge, which is higher Brahman. And this is what is established. So these people were, okay, Ji, thank you. So these people were very established in the lower forms of practices. They've already gained the benefit of lower forms of practices. They were Nishtha, Brahmanishtha, means they were very established. Means they were very highly spiritual. They have done all the yajnas, they have done all the sacrifices, they have done all the karmakanda, they have done all the rituals, they have done every possible thing that is required for a student to purify themselves mentally and intellectually. They have done that. But all what they lacked is they didn't have Brahmavidya. Now, I'm sorry to say, here you are coming and directly I'm giving you Brahmavidya. I'm giving you the knowledge in its unfalsified form, in its purest form, the highest knowledge of the Upanishads I'm giving you, without any inquiry, without any mention of what is your preparation, how established are you in the spiritual practices. I'm not doing any background check of any one of you. Since that is not being done, therefore, it is more so important that each one of us check how qualified am I to receive this Brahmavidya. It is for you to assess yourself. It's not for me to assess you and either say you're qualified to enter or dismissed to leave. It's not for me to sit and say you're worthy of receiving or not. It's for you to decide yourself, am I doing enough to be an adhikari of this knowledge? Knowledge may be coming your way, but it will not serve your purpose if you're not worthy of a student. It's not a question of whether you need a password to log into this classroom. Nobody is limited, no conditions laid, no dakshina asked from you, nothing is laid. What more you want? And yet the knowledge is being given and transmitted without conditions, and yet you don't come and take whom to blame. You want to find a reason to blame the guru, please do so. Am I laying any conditions in asking this knowledge to you, giving this knowledge? I am not laying any condition. Nobody is knocking on your door and say you must do this to be receiving. No conditions laid. Where are the conditions? And yet you don't come and receive. It's because you are not done enough to be serious student, because I will not drop my tempo. It's like you want to run marathon and you hire a teacher who is a marathon guru and he's training you to run marathons. The guru is not going to come down to your level. You have to rise up to that ability to be trained by a marathon guru. Tomorrow you can't run marathon. The guru will not say, okay, manage with a 5 kilometer walk. Marathon is a 42-kilometer run. And I only teach marathon gurus, runs. He will help you, but a lot has to be done by the student. A lot has to be done. A teacher will go to great length to teach with all the love, with all what I can, I'll teach. But the student has to do what is required. So the text sets the tempo that here is a student who is well established in his practices. He doesn't need a background check to see whether he's qualified to receive this knowledge. They are well established. You can also say the lower knowledge, another interpretation, Panigraji. The lower knowledge can also be interpreted as these people were well established in all the secular subjects, all that which the knowledge of worldly things. They were well versed. They are not unfits in the world. They were well qualified. They had all that secular knowledge. But what is that which makes a student turn to seek a guru? The guru did not knock at the door. It is the student who went in search of a guru. What are the two things that are essential which makes you to seek a guru? It should not be obviously a mere intellectual curiosity. Oh, I have not heard such and such a speaker. I have not heard Prashnopanishad. Never mind, let me join and see what this Prashnopanishad says. It is not it should not be a curiosity. What are the two essential qualities which makes a seeker seek a guru? Amitama.
Hariyom Guruji.
Hariyom.
Wow. Okay. What are the two things to seek the guru? I guess in the case of
put yourself, don't have to answer this question as a third party. Relate it to each, because you are seeking it.
Yeah.
Make it subjective, and you will feel the tempo of the question. You will feel the intensity of the answer. These seekers are seeking it. They went and sought a guru. Obviously not because they were fed up with their lives. It's not because they were broken and unsuccessful in the world. No, they were well established. And I passingly mentioned earlier. So apart from all the negative attributes which one may come and seek spirituality, these people were serious seekers. And we're all seeking, not because of a condition, because we understand the beauty and the grandeur of this path and this knowledge, right? Now, Yansama.
Yeah. I think you come to a point where the rituals and the routine, the reading and all of that, there's only so much. There's only so much that you can imbibe or that you can get. So you come to a point where you feel that what else is there, right? Where is all this taking you? Where is all this leading you towards? So I always look at it from bhakti, for example, right? You could have a well-decorated altar, for example, and you observe, all the requirements of the various types of pujas and things like that. But there is something beyond all of that. And what is that? Yeah, I think that's the point.
So rightly said, well said. So the two things is, if I were to explicitly spell it out, which you have answered, one is you have satiated with the current practices.
Yeah.
So almost you come to a point where you are impatient with the lower. I'm tired. Enough. Apara. Apara is lower. Apara. Para is higher. So apara vidya, the lower vidya, the lower forms of practices, you are impatient with that. Every time there's a gentleman the Wisdom Center where I'm currently taking this online satsang, there's a gentleman who comes in the neighborhood who lives. He comes walking every day, every time, every day I'm here. I keep bumping into this gentleman and generally greet him and a word or two. Every time I say, "How are you, sir?" And I know he keeps often traveling. Where have you traveled? Where have you gone? Oh, no. And then next week we are going to Maharashtra to see these 10 temples we want to do. Oh, I've gone these 3 dham, 4 dham, that is my goal. I want to go there. I have covered all the South Indian temples, North Indian temples I have not done. Oh, how do you go, sir? Where do you do? I don't give any Brahma Vidya. I don't start off, Om Bhadram Karne Vishnuyama Deva. I not start anything. I only say, oh, is it, sir? When is it? Where is it? How long does it take? Who is coming? What to do? What? I just have a dialogue with him. What else can you say? He has not, he's still searching in those realms. He's trying to get established in that. Here, the seekers are well established in what? In all the pilgrimages, all the sacrifices, all the bhakti practices, all the asanas, all the pranayamas, all the tapasas, all the seva you can do to the Guru, all this so on practices, they're all well established in that and have found a sense of saturation in them. All and more. I repeat, if you have missed anything, pilgrimages, the various yajnas, the various sacrifices, the various practices you do in the bhakti marga, the various asanas, pranayamas, the various tapas practices that you're prescribed, the various sevas, the seva that you do to the Guru, all that you have done and then done enough. I knew a student of mine, a colleague of mine. I didn't study with him. He was the first batch of the ashram. I was the second batch when I joined the ashram in 1990. The first batch was 88 when the ashram started. And this man knew Swamiji a little before the first batch of the ashram started. He was from South Africa. And for 18 years, I mark my words, 18 years in South Africa, he used to drive in Ramakrishna Math. He was a very smart man, IT, some corporate guy. He left it, he joined the Ramakrishna Math, and he was serving Ramakrishna Math, driving from one city to other. I think from Durban to Johannesburg, he used to drive, and Johannesburg to come back to Durban, the 2 ashram facilities there, and some seva they used to do. So he used to drive the material, a truck, go deliver, do this, come back for 18 years, week after week, month after month, year after year. That's all he did. Seva, seva, seva. I can't conceive of 18 years somebody doing so much seva. And then he was tired of doing, because he did not get anything more than that. Here and there he used to hear a lecture, here and there used to be some other activity, but his primary activity was seva. Until a point where he met Swamiji in South Africa, and then he said, oh my God, I can now sit with the Guru and ask him this knowledge. I can learn from a Guru. And he was one of the first students from South Africa to join those years. One example. Second example, I'm not against an institution or a practice. I'm just referring. There's another student colleague who was with us. His name was K.S. Srinivasan. That fellow also, he was many years serving Ramakrishna Math. I don't know how it is now, but he used to tell, one of the first things you join the Ramakrishna Math, one of the things they tell you to do, break your ego. They completely break your ego. He was a very successful person in the banking industry, a CA, chartered accountant, very successful chartered accountant. He left his profession, joined the Ramakrishna Math. First thing they break your ego. The test. What they told you, what he used to do? He used to go and clean public toilets in Chennai. What is the state of public toilets in India? Some of you can imagine. He used to go and clean public toilets day after day for years. He did this until he heard Swamiji in Chennai lectures, Bhagavad Gita lectures he heard. It was a revelation. Knowledge was not given. I am not again saying which is right, which is wrong, superior, inferior. Please don't interpret or filter what I'm saying. Get the message. These people were doing seva and they did wholeheartedly, but they didn't find contentment. There's no, they came to an end. That practice gave that much. That's all. So you come and serve a cause, it will only have that much. You may come and serve Wisdom Foundation. Please come, you can come and serve, but we will not tell you to clean bathrooms. Huh? Don't worry. You can do better service. Means you can do other services. Please come and serve. But by doing service alone, or you can come and say, I will want to be of help. I want to do this. I want to raise funds. I want to do that. I want to be an organizer. That by itself will have an end. You can do for a spiritual cause, or you run a company and you have made money, you have made name, you have done service. It will come to an end. So the point is, you found a limitation in that practice. They found it. All these practices will take you to that end. So quality of a student, the test is, have you found a sense of suffocation in what you're practicing? Secondly, have that burning desire to learn that higher wisdom, which cannot be satisfied through the apara practices. The apara practices cannot give you the para. Vanita, following? The apara practices, namaskar. The apara practices cannot give you the para. You get it?
Yes.
And what
yes,
is
yes.
para? What is para?
Para is the lower.
Para is the higher.
Yeah, it's higher
Apara.
vidya.
Higher vidya. So whenever you add a Sanskrit word to the word, any Sanskrit becomes the opposite. So
Negative.
para, negative, or the opposite. So para means the lower worship, which are the lower practices. Second is the para, which is the higher wisdom.
Higher vidya.
The higher vidya is the concentrated knowledge in its purest, unfalsified form. It's like you buy a concentrated bottle of mango Alfonso juice from India with pulp. The mango season coming, the desire also waking up. 9 months, the desire was asleep. That doesn't mean you have no desire for mango. There's very much desire, little more craving also for the mango. Yesterday, I was offered first taste of Alfonso mango juice. So the desire woke up yesterday. For the next 3 months, it will be active. Ramji, please don't complain. Don't drop the desire for mango. That one thing I can't drop, sir. That will go perhaps the last before realization. Okay. So what you do with that concentrated bottle of Alfonso mango with pulp, what do? You will dilute it, no? You can perhaps, they will say, it serves 100 glasses of juice. Either I give you a diluted glass or I can give you a concentrated bottle. What I'm giving you is concentrated knowledge, undiluted, unadulterated in its purest form. You find out how worthy you are to receive it. It is none of my business. The more qualified you are, this knowledge and wisdom will serve you exceedingly well, extraordinarily, because it served all great seekers of this wisdom. Question is, how qualified am I is what I need to test. All good so far? Now, so having fulfilled Aparavidya, they have reached a guru to inquire Paravidya. And how did they reach the guru? Don't tell me by foot, because they didn't have transport those days. It is not such a stupid question. How did they reach the guru? Arunama, I am not asking question because you put on your camera. Okay, so
Hari Om Guruji.
yes, namaskar.
They reached the Guru because they were earnestly seeking for the knowledge.
No, I am not asking why they reached the guru. Please understand the question. I am asking how did they reach the guru? There's a difference between why and how. Why we already clarified. Because they were impatient with the lower practices, they wanted para. That is quite clear, right? How did they reach the guru? Who is the guru here? The revered Pippalada, right? So when they bring the guru in picture in the mantra, how does he qualify the students? Not one, all 6 of them. What was standard to all 6? What did they do? Okay.
I mean, what is missing in the students, is it? I mean, I didn't get the question.
Good, you put the blame on the guru now.
No,
I know you people have any meeting, you will only blame me. A lot needs to be done by the guru. Okay, no problem. I'll take the blame. Huh? How simpler can the question be? I can't understand. I can't make any simpler than this.
How did they reach the Guru? You were asking.
How did they reach the guru? Okay, Arunama. I know you know it. It's just a matter of it's not clicking. That's all.
Yeah, it's not clicking.
No. It is a very simple question. No issues. Let me connect with Anupama. Who is Anupama? Because I don't see you. Okay. Familiar face. Okay. I think I've seen you somewhere, unless I don't know. Could be wrong. Can you please unmute yourself?
Sorry, sir. Sorry, Guruji.
Yes.
I haven't met you still. I need to come to your phone.
No problem. Most welcome. Happy to have you. Yes, ma. Solungo. Tell me, please.
Right there, they approached the Guruji with faggots in hand. I don't know what is faggots. I didn't understand that word.
Faggots. They are highly intellectual stalwarts in this classroom. We'll ask them. What does faggots in hand, Ramji mean? That does not make you. I didn't talk of you, but I'm just asking Ramji.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om, sir.
Faggots are firewood, basically.
Fuel.
Fuel, yeah. Because in those days, that was the only source of energy. And people had to burn firewood to cook or to do anything, or for yajna or anything. Yeah.
Correct. Perfect. So, Samitpani, the Sanskrit word, Samitpani.
That means samidhas in hand.
Samidhas.
Yeah, I know that word. I don't know faggot. Samidhas, I know.
Samidhas. Yeah. So Samitpani is it can be, thanks, ma. So Arunama, if you read the translation, he says, Gayatri, sorry bothering you. Once more translation. So I point out exactly what it is. All of them devoted to inferior. Brahman and engaged and established in inferior. Brahman approached the revered Pippalada with faggots in hand. So how did they approach the Guru? Was the question. They approached with faggots in hand. with the hope that thinking that the Rishi would explain all their doubts, everything to them. So the question answer is they approach with fuel, with faggots in hand. This is, thanks Gayatri, but this is a prerequisite set by the Shastras, not by the Guru. No Guru tells, give me. Imagine if I were to tell you, give me. Okay, Shailaja, I know you're coming for the first time, right? Okay. I'm asking you this. Imagine if I were to, I know you were introduced by Swami Amma, okay?
Yeah.
She just said, come for the satsang, listen, he speaks well, and she must have buttered you about something so much about me, more than me, she must have told you, you came. Okay. And after I come, I will tell you the list of things you must do before you continue the class. Imagine. Must do this to me, you must provide this for me, you must do this for that. Imagine if I tell you, what will be the impression?
It's luring the student.
I'm luring the student. I'm expecting something from the student.
Exactly.
I want to make use of the student for my own well-being.
Yes, selfish, whatever it is.
Very, don't worry, you can openly say so. This fellow is a very selfish fellow. Selfish guru.
That's what the world people are doing, right? I mean, the so-called false philosophers trying to propagate all these things in a wrong way. How many people have got arrested? The Babas, and that is indirectly causing, people not to go into the right path of seeking knowledge.
You go and buy a couple of kgs of grapes or any fruits.
Yeah.
Are all grapes perfect in that bunch?
No.
There are some which are sour, some which are spoiled, some which are not fit to be consumed. You will be wise enough to remove those and consume the rest. Yes. But you will not go and buy, right? Now would you discard not eating because they are sour grapes? Exactly the same way, nothing is perfect in life. There will be imperfection everywhere. But imagine if I were to tell you to, even before the Upanishad has started, even before the knowledge is given, the condition said you must give this before I teach you. So a guru will be most misunderstood. Exactly. But yet the highest tradition is, even before the knowledge is given, even before you receive anything from the guru, what a student does is he takes something which will benefit the guru, not what he has got extra with him. Oh, I've got extra. I went and got Louis Vuitton bag. I got extra bag. I'll give my handbag to the guru. What will the guru do with your handbag extra you got?
Yes.
I bought fabric that fellow gave me extra 2 meters. I'll go and give the fabric to him. What will he do? He's going to do stitch a fancy garment and do a ramp walk. Is it a guru will do? It's not giving what you have got extra. It is important for the student to give what he needs. Isn't it? Wonderful. Thanks, Ma. So as Ramji said, in the Vedic times, you must understand the guru was in the woods. And they had to go into the woods to chop that piece of wood for their worship, for the yajnas. They needed fire to cook. They needed, the only source of light was this wood, which would protect them in the wild. So wood was everything for them. So traditionally in the olden days, they used to carry wood. You don't please bring wood to Wisdom Foundation. Panigraji, don't bring wood from wherever you are. Please come with a box of sweets where you and I can sit and eat. Okay. I will not mention what sweet. The rest of my life, I will only be eating that sweet. So it is symbolic of the service you render to a guru. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, Gayatri Ma, can you please share the 4th chapter, 34th verse, very famous verse from the Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord talks of the qualities of a student. Because there is a mention of this, I'm drawing a parallel to that. Very, very famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 34. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninastatvadarshinaha. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Three qualities he says: know that by prostration, by questioning, by service. The wise who have realized the truth will instruct you the knowledge. So the qualities of a student and then the quality of a teacher. So only a man of realization will instruct the knowledge only if a student has got what? At the intellectual level, you must question the teacher. Prashnena. But when you question, the dialogue must not get into a disputatious argument. Therefore, you question with prostration, with devotion. So at the intellectual level, you must question the Guru. At the emotional level, you must be devoted to the Guru. Don't question a Guru to challenge his integrity or challenge his vision or his perception. You don't do that. You question only to understand with devotion. And lastly, Sevaya, you must serve the Guru. One of the rare instances where Lord Krishna is telling his students to serve him should not be misunderstood. Sevaya is an essential quality of a student, and that is exhibited even before the Guru telling the students have approached the Guru with faggots in hand. And what amount of faith they had in an unknown master. They had no background check, nobody recommended him, nobody told about him, yet these people had the faith that here is a man who could satisfy all their questions. So no doubt about the perfection, utmost faith. This is the as I said, the first verse clarifies the qualities of a seeker, the first mantra. Second, what are the perfect qualities of a guru? A guru has got two qualities which is traditionally spoken. One is Shrotriyam. Shrotriyam means a guru must be well versed in scriptural literature. He must have the knowledge of the scriptures. Shrotriyam. The second quality of a guru is Brahmanishtham. Brahmanishtham means he must be established in that knowledge that he's talking. He must be established in Brahman. He must have Shrotriyam and Brahmanishtham. So the 6 seekers, Kabandhi, Sukhesha, Satyakama, Gargya, Kaushalya, and Bhargava. These are the 6 students who went up to the Guru. And the first Prashna is going to be asked by Kabandhi. So the chapter is titled Kabandhi and Pipalada. So dialogue between Kabandhi and Pipalada is the first chapter. The entire chapter the Guru devotes to the student's question. Let's see what happens in the next mantra.
तान् हस ऋषिरुवाच भूय एव तपसा ब्रह्मचर्येण श्रद्धया संवत्सरं संवत्स्यथ यथा कामं प्रश्नान् पृच्छथ यदि विज्ञास्यामः सर्वं भवो वक्ष्याम इति.
To them, the Rishi said, stay here for 1 year with austerity, celibacy, and faith, and then may ask as you please your questions. If I know, I shall explain everything to you. I'm sorry to use the word. Very sorry, I can't even say the word. What nonsense is this? Huh? Look at the Guru. They were not allowed to fire off their questions. He said, you stay here for 1 year with me. You must practice austerity, celibacy, and prove your faith. Then if I know, you ask, then if I know, I'll answer. There's a possibility you may not know also. 1 year of their life is wasted. Interestingly, I just go to the next mantra. The next mantra starts with then, atha, which means they have stayed. Thanks, Ma. I'm only laughing because it is just purity in some falsified form. This is not done. It is not practiced. It will not sustain. But this is how the Shastras were revealed. This is how the tradition was kept by the Guru Shishya Parampara. And what is that kept is this strict protocol. As I've said, the one thing a guru's job is to find a worthy student to receive this knowledge. They will not waste their time. They rather remain in silence than running out into the world to teach this knowledge. They don't want to teach this knowledge to an unworthy student, to a non-adhikari. They will not do it. No question about it. They will not. I rather take one class to qualified students than taking 10 classes to unworthy students. You don't judge. What is your basis of judgment of an activity? Is it number of satsangs you're doing? Number of students coming? We're not churning out some products here. No, that's not my objective. I remember there were days I used to take 14 classes a week. That didn't make the students any less or my activity any irrelevant. I'm only trying to tell you. So it's not the number of activities that you do, but it's not the number of students you have. The question is, what is the qualification of the student? So the teacher says, stay here for 1 year. And you must practice these three: tapaha, brahmacharya, shraddha. Tapaha. What is tapaha? The definition of tapaha, the definition of tapas is conserving your energy by avoiding dissipation into unproductive channels. I shall repeat. Tapas is conserving your valuable energy by avoiding dissipation into unproductive channels and redirecting it to the higher pursuit. So one who does tapas does this, which is conserving your energy by avoiding its dissipation into unproductive channels and redirecting it to the higher. That's tapas. So you can say tapas is at the mental level. It's a mental discipline. Second is brahmacharya, celibacy. Brahmacharya is best described as brahmani charanti iti. I repeat, brahmacharya, the word brahmacharya, which means celibacy, means to practice the quality brahmani charanti iti. Brahmani charanti iti means you lead a life of renouncing sensual pleasures, renouncing worldly pleasures, so that you revel in the thought of Brahman. I repeat, you lead a life by renouncing worldly and sensual pleasures so that you can revel in the thought of Brahman. So celibacy or brahmacharya is a physical quality. Tapas is a mental quality where you are mentally keeping away from all the activities which is sapping your energy. And why am I bothering about that fellow? Wasting my time. That fellow is like straightening a dog's tail. He will remain to be crooked. He will remain to be arrogant. He will remain to be unconcerned. What am I trying to change him? Let them live their life the way they are. I will rather do things better off rather than wasting my time into unproductive activity. Is it not? Why am I wasting my time thinking about something which is useless? Let me stop thinking they will remain like that they are. Can we not say that? Let's not waste my time. Let me think of something higher. So tapas is conserving your energy. Brahmacharya is you withdraw from worldly sensual activities so that you live a life of Brahmani thought on Brahman. Lastly, he says Shraddha. Shraddhaya. Shraddha, though translated as faith, is an intellectual quality. And how do we define Shraddha or faith? Anybody? It's not just a faith. You have come here because of faith. It's not just a faith. The students have come to the teacher, not knowing the teacher, they had faith in the system. It's not just a faith. You walk into a clinic or a hospital, the faith that the doctor will treat you. You go into a restaurant with the faith that the food is not contaminated. There is no background check. You have not gone into the kitchen. You have not verified the ingredients. Nothing has done. But there's a general faith. If there is no faith, you will not sit in the restaurant and eat the food that is served. You will not go into a clinic doubting whether the doctor is a doctor certificate, a qualified doctor or a fake doctor. You can't start with suspicion. You can't start with doubt. You can't carry on with that suspicion. So there is a basic faith. But Shraddha is way beyond faith. There is no English translation for word Shraddha. You must understand this. So it's a borrowed term. We are just trying to accommodate the concept. Therefore, it is on us to tell what the real meaning beyond the word faith is. So what is the definition of faith, Surajji? Or Shraddha rather?
An unshakable conviction in the eternal truth of Brahman.
Unshakable?
Conviction.
Shraddha is way beyond that mere, I would not say mere, but it's beyond conviction. It is a little beyond that. So what is that element beyond that? But thanks for that additional input. The conviction goes a step beyond faith. A little more than faith.
An unshakable conviction.
Okay. Qualify pannungo. Unshakable.
Unshakable naka. I'm absolutely certain about it. I don't have an iota of doubt that it is the ultimate truth.
No, I am not. So the Guru is not even given the knowledge. So what Shraddha he must prove here?
No, because they have come to attain and they have an aspiration for the superior Brahman. So they have an unshakable conviction on the superior Brahman.
So Shraddha, they have to still, the Guru is testing their Shraddha.
Yeah, the Guru is testing because, he doesn't want a frivolous disciple. Are they, as they would say in Hindi, kya ye lambi race ka ghoda hai? Is this the horse for the long haul? Or is it a fly-by-night operator? And therefore, that 1 year where you will exhibit your unshakable conviction for the superior Brahman.
Yes, sir. But yes, thank you for that wonderful additional thing, which is conviction. But Shraddha is beyond conviction. More than that. Panigreji, yes, sir, you can state what you wanted to.
In Shraddha, there is an element of faith, there is an element of belief, and there is an element of happiness also. Shraddha is something, unless there is Shraddha, you can't do anything. And you can't go to somebody, or you can't talk to somebody, you can't expect anything that you are trying to achieve. So there is an element of faith, there is an element of happiness, and there is an element of a strong belief that yes, you have come to the right place. That is how I see.
Uh, I only see the words that you have said are only qualifying faith, but it's not expanding on Shraddha, what I'm seeking. Not wrong what you're saying, but Shraddha is beyond faith, as I've said. Thanks, Panigraji. Setuji, I'm just trying to quickly rush because we've just about crossed our time, but I'll soon wrap up. Yes, sir. Hariomji.
Trust in the scriptures and the Guru.
Shraddha is not trust, sir. What is Shraddha? Again, I'm saying Shraddha is an intellectual discipline.
It's a commitment.
Commitment. Not really. You can say in a loose term commitment. Shraddha, as Aruna Maharaj rightly said, it is the consistency of purpose. Shraddha is the capacity to pursue anything until you reach the goal. Shraddha, I've started this journey. I will not stop this until I reach the goal. Now I see how many of you will have Shraddha in the text of the study of Prashnopanishad. At least in this class, we have done 2 mantras. The 67 mantras, you find out, you calculate how long it will take. It's not the question of finishing the text, it is a question of drawing the essence from the study. So in order to do justice to this transaction between you and me, what is required is you must have Shraddha. So your Shraddha to pursue this. If you don't have Shraddha, you'll drop me. Something else will come in its way and you'll say, for next 2 months, I'm not here, sir. Why? Something is occupying me. Can't you say no to it and say yes to this and say, I must have Shraddha. So Shraddha is just not the faith that you bestow onto a guru or onto something or have that belief system. It is the ability to pursue something until you reach it. So Shraddha is an intellectual quality. Tapas is a mental quality. Brahmacharya is a physical quality. It sounds a little unfair, a waste of time, of career, of such great aspirants, keeping them waiting for 1 year. And to put these kind of conditions looks very unfair. Maybe in the modern context is unfair, but in traditional context, it perfectly fits it. There's more to it. I will continue when we come back. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.